Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. In this lecture, we are going to discuss current affairs of 1st April 2021. In this lecture, we are going to discuss 8 articles which are very much relevant to UPSC. So let's get started with our discussion and let us see first article. Title says Pakistan allows imports from India. So this article mainly talking about trade between India and Pakistan. So this article will be important regarding international relations and also even economy. So which comes under GS paper 3 and GS paper 2. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail, and also we are going to see some background regarding this article. Then only you can understand this article in a very great detail. So now let us see first context. So if you see context, it mainly says that partially reversing a 2-year-old decision to suspend all trade with India. Okay, so Pakistan came up with the decision like to suspend all trade with India. So this decision took by Pakistan 2 years back, and now here Pakistan mainly come up with one another decision here, and it is partially reversing whatever decision that took by Pakistan 2 years back. So it would allow import of cotton and sugar from across border now. Okay, so this is context. So why they are going to import this cotton? Because there is increase in demand in small and medium enterprises of Pakistan. Okay, and there is also increased textile exports. But what happened? There is reduced cotton crop in Pakistan. So because of this reason, now it is partially reversing its statement which is given by Pakistan, and it is going to allow import of sugar and also cotton. So if you see background regarding this article, India had not banned trade with Pakistan. So this is important fact that should remember. Okay, but India suspended cross LOC trade, that is line of control trade, and also withdrew most favored nation status to Pakistan. So because of Pulwama attack that happened in year 2019, so this decision taken by India. So what will be significance of this step which is taken by Pakistan now? So first one is because of this decision which is taken by Pakistan, now it will allow trade in some selected items like cotton and as well as sugar here. So because of this, gradually it will lead to restoration of normalcy between India and Pakistan trade. So this is first important thing that should understand. And next one is it will also help Pakistan domestic manufacture to reduce cost of production. Okay, so because of ban of trade between India and Pakistan, so that led to increase in cost of production from Pakistan. So because of this, whenever they are going for normalcy in trade, then it will also helpful to reduce cost of production for Pakistan also. So these are some important points that should remember regarding this article. And now I want to give you some small homework. So you need to refer what is this 2019 Pulwama attack. So how this Pulwama attack led to alteration of relationship between India and Pakistan. So in this way you can also expect questions in your mains. Okay, and now let us see next article. Title says expert committee will rule on Sputnik 5 today. So there are two articles regarding vaccines that appeared in today's newspaper. So one is regarding Sputnik and second one it is regarding Pfizer. So first Pfizer vaccine appeared in page number 12. Okay, I didn't discuss about this Pfizer vaccine because already we had discussed this article number of times in our Hindu analysis and also PIB analysis. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the Sputnik vaccine. So this article will be important regarding health, which comes under GS paper 2. So you can expect some prelims based questions for sure regarding these vaccines which are present across our world. So now let us try to understand this article. First, we are going to see context, and we are going to see some important details which are highlighted in this article, and we are also going to see some facts regarding this Sputnik, and we are also going to see some important things regarding adenovirus also, because adenovirus it is used as vector in this Sputnik 5. So now let us see context first. So context mainly says that a decision on India approving third COVID-19 vaccine, it is likely coming to be soon. That means as of now there are two vaccines which got emergency use authorization in India. They are Covishield and next one is Covaxin, right? So now if we get this emergency use authorization permission for this Sputnik 5, and this will be third COVID-19 vaccine in India. So if you see some details here, Dr. Reddy's lab, it is Hyderabad based lab, which is seeking emergency use authorization for this Sputnik 5, because this Reddy's lab, it is conducting clinical trials in India regarding this Sputnik 5. So in this context, whenever it need to get this emergency use authorization, it need to submit some data like immunogenicity, whether it is immunity, whether it is activating immunity or not, and also some safety data regarding this Sputnik 5. Okay, it need to submit data of phase 2 and phase 3 clinical trials. Okay, and now let us see some facts regarding this Sputnik. So if you see this Sputnik 5, this vaccine named after first artificial Earth satellite, that is Sputnik 1. So this Sputnik 1 launched by the Soviet Union. So this vaccine has been developed by Moscow's Gamaleya Institute along with collaboration with Russia's Defense Ministry. And this vaccine, it is mainly based on DNA of SARS coronavirus 2. Okay, and they are using this adenovirus as a vector too. This adenovirus will be helpful to transmit this DNA of the SARS coronavirus 2 in our body. So this adenovirus, it is a common cold virus which is mainly seen in chimpanzee, and this vaccine also uses mainly some weakened virus. Okay, so this adenovirus will be weakened such that after entering into body, it should not have any activity like to increase or to cause disease like that. So we are using this vector, that is adenovirus, and it is also in a weakened state. So we are using this weakened virus to deliver small parts of pathogen, that is coronavirus, that will finally stimulate our immune system or immune response. And now let us see some facts regarding this adenovirus. This adenovirus is used as a tool to deliver genes, or we can also say it will be used to deliver vaccine antigens, okay, into target host tissue. So this adenovirus, why we are using? Because it is a DNA virus. So if you're seeing size of this virus, it is about 70 to 90 nanometers in size. So it includes mainly illness in humans. Okay, so if you see, this is mainly commonly causing cold and respiratory tract infections in humans. So this adenovirus are preferred vaccine because their DNA, it is double stranded DNA, so which make them genetically more stable and will also helpful to enhance the changing after injection. Okay, so this will be also helpful to adapt to human environment also. Okay, so it makes them genetically more stable, and also chances of changing them will be very less. That means if we are using DNA which is a single stranded, or if you are having any RNA which we are taking, so whenever this RNA which is whenever it is entering into body, so it will also make some changes in their genetic problem, right? In their genetic, there will be having some changes. So it is one of important problem we are facing regarding this COVID-19. So in this COVID-19, we are seeing changes in spike proteins, and we are seeing different variants. And if you are talking about India, we are seeing double variant type of this coronavirus that is existent here, right? So if you are talking about this DNA, when we are taking this double stranded DNA of this adenovirus, it is more genetically stable, such that after entering into body, what happened, there will be lower chances of changes that is seen, or genetic changes that will be seen here. And now let us see what will be drawbacks of this adenovirus. So if at all any humans who are already infected with this adenovirus, so it will be one of important drawback here. So there might be already pre-existing immunity in humans, and as well as inflammatory responses. So whenever they are having some immunity or inflammatory responses regarding this virus, so vaccine effectiveness will be decreased. So this is one important cause of concern regarding this adenovirus. So these are some important facts that you should remember regarding this article. And now let us see next article. Title says military forms shut down after 132 years. So this article mainly focusing on this military forms. So this article will be important regarding defense, which comes under GS paper 3, and you can expect mains based question regarding this. And now let us see this article in a great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that military farms have been closed after 132 years of service. So all officers and workers, they have been redeployed within a ministry to continue providing service to organization. That means, so after 132 years of this military farms, now we closed this military farms. So in this area, whoever are employed here, for example officers, for example workers, so they will be redeployed into services. Okay, and now let us see some background regarding this military farms. So in 2012, if you are talking about recommendations, so Quartermaster General Branch so recommended for closure of this military farms. And even in 2016, Seketkar committee also recommended that we need to enhance our measures regarding this combat capability, and we need to rebalance defense expenditure of armed forces here. That means we need to enhance our capability or combat capability, and we need to rebalance our defense expenditure. So in this condition, we need to go for closure of this military farms. So this is recommendation which is given by this Seketkar committee. And if you are talking about this military farms, so we came up with this military farms for first time during our British Indian time. So that is in 1889. So important aim of this military farms, it is to supply hygienic cow milk to troops in garrisons across British India, mainly to supply hygienic cow milk. So we came up with this military farms, and first farm raised on February 1st, 1889 at Allahabad. You have to remember this fact. And next one is in post-independence India. It is after we got independence. So we flourished this military farms with 30,000 heads of cattle and 130 farms all over India. So even we established this military farm in Leh and Kargil in late 1990s. And what will be significance? So first one is farm supplied about 3.5 crore liter of milk and 25,000 tons of hay yearly. So this is significance of this military farms. And now let us see next article. Title says India GDP to grow 7.5 to 12.5% in financial year 2022. So this is according to World Bank. So this article mainly talking about this GDP. So this GDP, it is one of important topic in your static syllabus, which comes under economy under GS paper 1. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So before that, I want to give you a homework. So you need to refer some facts regarding this World Bank. Okay. So don't forget about this homework. And now let us see this article. So this article talking about this gross domestic product. So if you see context, it mainly says that India's economy is expected to grow at 10.1% per year, that is starting April 1st, 2021. So this is according to World Bank South Asia Economic Focus, South Asia's Vaccinates report. So according to this South Asia Vaccinates report, it mainly says that India's economy, it is expected to grow by 10.1% to year, which is starting from April 1st, 2021. And this vaccine rollout drives activities in contact with intensive sectors. So why this report which came up by this World Bank South Asia Vaccinates report? Because here we are going for mass vaccination drive, and we went for vaccination for frontline workers and as well as healthcare workers. And in this phase, we are going for vaccination of people who are more than 45 years, irrespective of they are having this comorbidities or not, and people who are suffering with this comorbidities, right? So because of this report mainly estimates that there will be increasing of India's economy. Okay, and now let us see some details. So this report also says that uncertainty around epidemiological and also policy factors. So it is one important reason here. So we need to know about some uncertainty also present. So it may be correct or it may not be correct. So but we can also see there is some uncertainty that is present around our epidemiological data and as well as our policy factors also. So in this way, real GDP growth could range from 7.5 to 12.5%. So because of some uncertainty which are present around our epidemiological and also some policy factors here. So now we are estimating this real GDP growth. It is from 7.5% to 12.5%. Okay, and if we say we can stabilize at 6 to 7% in medium term. And this report mainly said that in fiscal year 2021, it is expected to register worst economic damage due to pandemic. And we also experienced this economic contraction Q1 and Q2 also here. And if you see why this report it is saying that there will be revival. So what might be reasons? So first one is it is expecting that public consumption that will contribute to positively. So there will be increase in public consumption, and also there is large government capital expenditure that is also coming up. So government which is spending lot of amount regarding coming up with many schemes, so and so etc. And investment will also pick up very gradually. And next one is RBI also maintaining accommodative monetary policy. That means it is coming up with expansionary monetary policy here. So because of all reasons, this report is estimating that there will be increase in India's GDP. So this is gist of this article. And now let us see some facts regarding this GDP. So GDP mainly stands for gross domestic product. So this gross domestic product means it measures the value of economic activity within country. That means we can say, so what is value of total goods and services which is produced in country, okay, within a geographical area within a particular period of time, that is 1 year. So it gives economic output from the consumer side. So if you want to calculate GDP, I also added one important formula. So GDP is equal to private consumption plus gross investment plus government investment plus government spending plus exports minus imports. So through this formula also you can calculate this GDP easily. And to calculate this GDP, there are different methods, okay. So you have to see that methods. And we discuss about this GDP in our Indian economy by Sanjeev Verma very clearly. So if you want to see that, you can see that video. And now let us see next article. Title says government retains 4% inflation target for RBI's rate panel for 2021 to 2026. So this article mainly focusing on inflation targeting. So this is one of important topic in our static syllabus which comes under economy GS paper 3. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. And you can expect this inflation targeting in your mains for sure this year. So now let us try to see this article in a great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that center has decided to retain inflation target that is 4 plus or minus 2%, that is 2 to 6% of target here, okay, for monetary policy committee of RBI for coming 5 years, that is from 2025 to 2021 to 2026. So for next 5 years we are going to have this inflation targeting that is 2 to 6%, that is 4% plus or minus 2%. Okay, and now let us see some facts regarding this inflation targeting. So first you need to understand what is inflation. Inflation means it is general tendency of increasing price of goods and services in market. For example, we can say clothing, food, housing, recreation, transport, consumer staples, etc. Recently, we also saw there is increase in prices of onion, potato, and even oil price are increased. Even petrol price, diesel price are increasing. So this condition is called as inflation here. So in this way, this inflation mainly measures average price change in the basket of commodities and services over time here. So this is about some introduction regarding inflation. And now let us see about what is this inflation targeting. This inflation targeting, which is mainly, we need to see that. So this inflation targeting mainly done by the central bank, that is RBI of India. So this central banking will have one policy, that is monetary policy. So in this monetary policy, it revolves around adjusting this monetary policy to achieve specified annual rate of inflation. So whenever inflation which is very high, it is also bad for economy. Whenever it is very less, it is also bad for economy here. Mainly to maintain demand and supply equilibrium here, we need to maintain our inflation. So this inflation will be targeted by both RBI and also central government. So if you are talking about RBI, it will comes up with this monetary policy that will deals with this inflation. And if you're talking about government which will comes with this fiscal policy to control inflation in market. So if you're talking about here what is this inflation targeting, so in monetary policy of RBI it will come up with specified annual rate of inflation that to be maintained. So whatever RBI which is coming up with this specified annual rate, that is called as inflation targeting. So if you're talking about principles of this inflation targeting, it is mainly based on the belief that long-term economic growth, it is best achieved by maintaining price stability. So if you want to maintain price stability, it need to be achieved only by controlling to price inflation. For example, rupees 100 per kg. For example, if you are taking about onions, so last 2 months we are seeing onion prices increasing. Okay, so we saw onion price has reached more than 70 to 80 per kg in some cities, right? So because of this, what happened, demand will be decreased, and if you see from supply side will be decreased, and there will be increase in if there is increase in demand, then what happened, there will be increase in prices. But after once prices of that good is increasing, then that will lead to decrease in demand, right? So because of this, whenever we want to maintain balance between demand and supply, we need to focus here. Okay, we need to focus on inflation. Okay, so because of this, inflation targeting will be very important component. And if you see here, India's flexible inflation target framework, so if you're talking about background here, our central bank, that is RBI, and government, they agreed in 2005 on a policy framework. They need to ensure some price stability here. So this inflation target adopted in 2016. And if you're talking about inflation target of India's economy, so we are not going for this tight regulation here. So we are having some flexible inflation targeting is present. So mainly to adopt this flexible inflation targeting, we came with amendment in RBI Act of 1934. Okay, after that, this amended act of this RBI Act, which provides for inflation target that to be set up by government. So government should come up with consultation with RBI, and it can come up with inflation targeting that can be done once in every 5 years. Okay, so this is gist of this article. And now let us see next article. So before seeing this article, I want to make a small announcement on this platform. So if you are preparing for UPSC 2022, we came up with one excellent course, that is Current Affairs package along with mains answer writing practice. So if you are preparing for this 2022, you need to prepare at least 1.5 years current affairs. So this is right time to join this course. Okay, and if you are talking about mains answer writing practice, many students who are beginners mainly ignore this answer writing practice. So finally they end up in failing in mains. Mainly to clear this mains, you need to improve your answer writing skills. So this course is exactly focusing on improving of answer writing skills. And if you join this course, we also conduct prelims test on weekends, and we also provide video solutions. So in this way, this course is focusing on exactly demand of UPSC. So finally, I want to say one thing, please don't take this course as a choice. Try to join this course as soon as possible. So details of this course are given in description box. So if you want to talk to me directly, you can talk to me on this number 8074765513. Okay, is it clear? And now let us see next article. Title says this second wave. So this article mainly talking about this COVID-19, especially COVID-19 vaccines. So as we see nowadays, there is increasing of this COVID-19 cases. As part of India's second wave, there is increase in number of cases in some states, and there is also increase in number of deaths. So deaths are increased more than 3 times or 3 folds. So in this context, governments and public health authorities, they are very much worried about this condition which is prevailing now. So in this context, what is need? We need to take some urgent action to prevent transmission of this coronavirus. So how can we prevent? We can prevent by going through this vaccination, right? So if you are talking about details regarding vaccination in India, so India has administered nearly 6.3 crore doses of Covaxin and Covishield. As of now, we have only 2 vaccines which got emergency use authorization, that is Covaxin and Covishield. So since March 20 onwards, inoculating a little over 2 million people, that is seeing in every day. So if you're talking about states which are recording high number of this COVID-19, they include Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka and Kerala here. So in this context, what is need? We need to increase our vaccination capability, and we need to go for communication strategies, because many people, they are developing vaccine hesitancy. They are not coming outside to take this vaccine, and we need to provide some information awareness regarding these vaccines, and we need to allow people to come out of their doors to get this vaccination to be done. And next one is we need more research and communication regarding mortality of this second wave. It is mainly biased towards group at they are eligible for vaccination. So if they are vaccinated, also whether this antibodies which are produced in this body will be active against this second wave or new mutant virus or not, we need to know about that. So we need much more research and development, or research and communication regarding this, okay, COVID-19. So I hope it is clear. And now let us see next article. Title says enter the peace process. So this article mainly talking about Afghan peace process. We discussed this article number of times in our Hindu analysis. So if you are talking about Afghanistan, there is increased violence in that Afghanistan. So mainly because of Taliban. Okay. So because of Taliban, there is increase in violence. So if you are talking about Afghanistan, different stakeholders are involved. They include Afghanistan government, we have Taliban, we have USA, we have China, we have Pakistan. Pakistan is playing an important role. It is providing training for these Taliban. And we have India also. Okay, so this is about this Afghanistan, some issue. So now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that, so there is shift in New Delhi's approach towards this Afghan crisis. So recently, our External Affairs Minister attended this 9th Heart of Asia conference in Tajikistan. So in this conference, he mainly commented that India support talks between Afghanistan government and Taliban. Okay, India has been very supportive of all efforts being made to accelerate the dialogue between Afghanistan government and Taliban. So because of this, we are seeing there is a change in stand of New Delhi here. So if you are talking about some facts regarding this Heart of Asia Istanbul process, it was founded in year 2011, and this Heart of Asia provides a platform for science and results oriented regional cooperation by placing Afghanistan on its center. And if you see, this platform mainly talks about to provide or to secure or to ensure peace in Afghanistan. And if you see some important details here, so this Heart of Asia mainly address some shared challenges and also interest of Afghanistan and its neighbors, and as well as regional partners also. So if you're talking members of this Heart of Asia, there are 15 participating countries, 7 are supporting countries and 12 are supporting regional and international organizations. So if you're talking about especially India comes under participating countries. And if you see, we are going to talk about some facts regarding this intra-Afghan negotiations. So what is this intra-Afghan negotiation first? So this intra-Afghan negotiations, they refers to talk that is between Taliban's insurgents and as well as Afghanistan government. So there are two groups which are present. First one is Taliban insurgents. Next one is Afghanistan government. So whatever talks which are happening between this Taliban insurgents and this Afghanistan government here, so it is mainly talking about to bring end of this conflict between these Taliban and Afghanistan, which are happening from some decades onwards. Okay, so participants, they will discuss about date and as well as some modalities of permanent comprehensive ceasefires, and also it will include agreement over future political roadmap in Afghanistan also. And next one is negotiation mainly covers some variety of issues. They include rights of women, free speech, changes to the country's constitution, etc. So if you're talking about India's stance here, so India mainly believes peace process that should be Afghanistan-led, Afghanistan-owned and also Afghanistan-controlled. So we are respecting national sovereignty and as well as territorial integrity of Afghanistan. And we are also seeing some pressure the process that is made in establishment of development Islamic Republic in Afghanistan. So these are three important things that you should remember here. So if you are talking about some interest of minorities, women and as well as vulnerable section of society, so they must be preserved. And next one is we need to address issues of violence across the country. So these are some important things that should remember regarding this intra-Afghan peace talks. So there is also one article regarding this GNCTD. Okay, GNCTD bill recently passed in Lok Sabha. So because of this, there is one article which appear in page number 6. So let us have a look over that also. So if you see title, it says that a step that enhances cooperative federalism. So this art mainly talking about GNCTD Act. So whatever it is important regarding UPSC point of view, we are going to extract that. We are going to see what is this and what are some important provisions of this act. So if you see here, GNCTD Act, which mainly stands for Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Bill 2021. So it mainly increases powers of Lieutenant Governor over Chief Minister. Okay, so this is some important things that you should remember regarding this bill. And now let us see first important thing, what is aim of this bill. So it is mainly further defining responsibility of elected government and Lieutenant Governor in Delhi. So this is important aim that you should remember. And now let us see provisions of this bill. The first one is government means Lieutenant Governor. So that means government which referred in any law which is made by Legislative Assembly of Delhi. So that government means Lieutenant Governor. And next one is it also led to widening of discretionary power of Lieutenant Governor here. So in this case of this Lieutenant Governor, there is also increasing of discretionary powers that is seen. So even in matters where Legislative Assembly of Delhi which has empowered to make laws also, so in those areas also there is increase in discretionary power of this Lieutenant Governor that is seen. And next one is there is necessarily granted an opportunity for Lieutenant Governor here. So what is this necessary granted opportunity here? So whenever Council of Ministers of this Legislative Assembly, they are mainly taking any decision regarding governance. So this Lieutenant Governor's opinion, either he or she, okay, either he or she her opinion that should be taken by this Council of Ministers before implementing decision which is taken by this Council of Ministers. So this is gist of this article. So these are some important provisions. And now let us see today's main question. So what is inflation targeting? So discuss the tools that are used for inflation targeting. So how effective they have been in India. So there are three parts in this question. First, in introduction, you need to write about what is this inflation targeting, and you need to talk about tools, okay, tools of this inflation targeting. Finally, you need to add a note on effect, okay, how effective they have been in India. So the key word here is discuss, and you have to write your answer within this 250 words. Okay, so these are some important articles that appeared in today's Hindu newspaper. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. And don't forget to enroll to this current affairs package. Thank you so much.